The Florida Commission on Ethics shall, by rule in accordance with statutory procedures governing administrative rulemaking, define the term disappropriation benefit, prescribe the requisite intent for finding a violation of this prohibition. For purposes of enforcing this paragraph, appropriate penalties shall be prescribed by law.
So I didn't make that up, right, guys? So I know we have it in Florida. So one would think that because there should be some sort of uniformity nationwide, it's just simply, I told, well, actually, Mike, what's going on, MJ? Thanks for joining the show. And you and I talked about this before, which I know you can talk to the people that you're helping me with, by the way. But you see that a code of ethics for all state employees and non-judicial officers prohibiting conflicts between public duty and private interest. And it says, there's our magic word, shall. But a public officer or public employee shall not abuse his or her public position in order to obtain a disproportionate benefit for himself. Or who cares about that? But that's the one right there. I was going to tell you to slow down, JC, but you were going through it. That's the one that caught my attention right there, employer. And if their employer is the state, the employer is the state, period. So when people say that they do it for these reasons, I said, one reason I've always stayed away from it is because I'm like, okay, I know what we all may think, but then this is where you say, okay, you did this specifically for the benefit of this entity or person. And then you had to get into the weeds of proving that. Sometimes it may just be easier to prove that there's a violation, which is what you're learning as well, right, Mike? With your Tell everybody who you are, Mike, and thanks for hopping on.
Hey everybody, Mike James, entrepreneur, really just philanthropic, businessman, I can say. Nice to meet everybody. Dele, what's up, man?
Oh, I don't know. I think I'm gonna knock him out just a second. Hold on. Bring him back in. Hold on. There you go, Dele.
Hey, what's going on, my man?
Yo.
Long time.
So, as you were saying, Mike, tell everybody where you are with your situation, because that's what this show is about, is going over where we are with our cases. But JC is he's moving forward as well. But it's this whole thing about everybody saying that we think they do it for unethical reasons. And I'm like, that's not where I would think my argument would be. I would probably argue by finding out the rule in that state that says, okay, this is done for this reason, and find out when you read the jury instructions, what do you have to prove in order to show that these things took place? And because these things took place, you're entitled to some sort of relief.
Yeah. Okay. I follow now. I kind of jumped on late. So, in my case, and kind of what G talking about it, what we've seen in a lot of cases, procedural things. And when you're addressing procedure things, like what I'm doing now in my case is saying, okay, these things were not addressed. And now I'm, pulling up certain rules, certain laws where these things need to be addressed, filing certain motions, and then ready to be able to argue those things when it's time or if it's necessary. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So even with that, before you even, get to a place where you're able to argue things or, or even understand where you're at, I suggest like knowing the rules of that court.